And it makes me sick. So you need to understand, the people running Israel are diabolical, but they are controlled by the very same New World Order group, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Queen of England, the Saxe-Coburg-Goethas, Queen Beatrix. All of this is going on. And every time I research, I've got the New York Times now. I've got the actual New York Times from the late 1920s admiring John D. Rockefeller and the big endowments he made, and then other articles into the 30s of the Rockefeller family, to the Nazi eugenics institutes in Germany. And the Nuremberg trials, the Nazis said, hey, we learned this from the U.S. and England. We were given grants by your biggest Henry Ford, John D. Rockefeller, and then his son. We were just doing what we were, the head of IBM, Mr. Watson, he was a big Nazi, photographed with Hitler. The Crown Prince in England was a big Nazi there during the war. And as Germany was starting to fall, he had to escape out through Franco, Spain. Barely made it out on an aircraft flying him into Spain. There were talk of arresting him. And then you find out these very same people set up Israel. It's weird, man. When you find out, when you break through to the highest level, it's Nazis and Zionists and the Lee family in China and weird eugenics freaks in Japan. The emperor is into the exact same stuff, did all these tests on British and U.S. soldiers, and then they let all those generals who did that research go free, and as long as they gave us their data. That's all mainstream history. We just want to go research it. And I'm like going, whoa, this is really incredible. Look, the people getting rid of our sovereignty, the people getting rid of our country, the people dismantling our borders, the ones that have brought us into the North American Union, we're already in it right now. As a country, our heart quit beating. We've been dead for about 30 seconds. If we reverse the FTAA, if we get out of the North American Union, that's the paddles, we can be defibrillated. Countries, empires are old at 200 years. In fact, they never last past 200. We're the longest lasting empire at, and of course I say empire, quote, republic, but we've turned into an empire at 234 years coming up here soon. So I said I go to calls. I'm already belaboring all this. But these are the type of issues. And so there's people who want to say it's the Catholics, they run it all, the Pope called for a New World Order, or it's the Jews, or it's the this group, or it's the that group. No, it's none of those groups. Obviously the Pope's New World Order. He's calling for a New World Order, one world government, merging the religions, praying in mosque to Mecca. Obviously the Protestant leaders, I've got Hagee, Pastor Hagee down in Cornerstone saying he's got this new group to support Israel and that they're not there to convert Jews to Christianity. And that, and it actually says it. I have the news articles where his head guy is saying, his head pastor that runs this, we're not here because it upsets Jews. We try to convert them. We're just here to support Israel. And how do Christians say it's not our job to convert people? Totally compromised. This is bizarre. And so you just learn how big it is. And you learn how the Protestants, the Catholics, all these groups are totally controlled by the New World Order. We get up here and bash Masons, and they send me emails going, hey man, at the lodge, we all talk about how you're right, and that's what we got founded on is freedom and liberty. And I'm like, yeah, the Masons were a secret construction guild. Mathematics was power. You had to keep that secret. It goes back before Solomon's temple. It goes back to Egypt. I know all that. Your secrets are really public. Okay. And, the calculations of the temple and all that basic stuff you learn. Most Masons don't even know there's 360 degrees. They don't even know that there's stuff way above the 33rd degree. They don't know any of this stuff. Obviously, you as porch Masons, you're given those questionnaires. What would you do in this scenario? What would you do in that scenario? And then you say, oh, I wouldn't do something anymore. And they go, oh, good, you're just who we're looking for. This was a test. But if you say I do things, end justifies the means, you move up. But even if you were an immoral person, you never move up to the higher ranks. And I don't need to sit there and have arguments with you, okay? I've had family who were the highest degree Masons you think exist, okay? And they tell family, folks. But then we've got the books, we've got the experts, we have the publications. This is Texas, Lone Star State. My family was here from the start on both sides. Do you think I know about Masonry? Yeah, I know all about it, okay? So I'm not saying Masons run it. It's a pyramid. That's why it's their symbol. All these Masons are good. The capstone is bad. It's like that in intelligence agencies. It's like that in the police. It's like that in the FBI. So an FBI agent hears this show and here's the saying, I corrupt the FBI. He's like, hey, I'm not corrupt. I go after bank robbers and money launderers and, and stalking and blah, blah, blah. What are you saying we're bad for? I resent that. Well, you're not in the divisions that are doing the bad stuff. I assure you the folks at Waco, what ended up happening there was evil and wrong. I assure you, you've heard about the FBI in Texas and Massachusetts and New York running hits and mafia. J. Edgar Hoover was blackmailed by the mafia, saying La Cosa Nostra doesn't exist. That's why the pyramid works so well, because it's got all these good people empowering it. It's like the troops. I'm for the troops. I'm against them breathing DU. I'm against the tyranny they're under. I'm against the bad things that are happening. I'm against how it's a false war. But then good people say, well, we got to back the troops. We got to be patriotic. We're losing the war. We got to win. Come on. It's a sudden death overtime football game. We got to support them and keep them there. That's not how you support them, with stop loss and people serving 3-4 tours and telling them we don't care what your contract says. You got to stay in. How is that supporting them? When troops in Vietnam had to serve 1 tour. Same thing in World War II. Again, they make good people join this system. Let's go ahead and take calls. So it isn't the Masons, it isn't the Jews, it isn't the Catholics, it isn't the Protestants. It is evil people over every single group. These old institutions. That's all the elite has to do is work its way in, take over, get control of major institutions. That's why their symbol is the pyramid.
The world appears to be on the brink of collapse. Experts say a pinch of heirloom vegetable seed could soon be the most valuable resource on Earth because it will provide healthy food now and every year after. Survivalistseeds.com now has the Heirloom Garden Seed Time Capsule, allowing you to store your seeds for the future anywhere, even underground, for 100 years. The Heirloom Garden Seed Time Capsule can withstand 3 tons of weight, is 100% rodent-proof, waterproof, and comes with a whopping 6,000 healthy vegetable seeds from 20 varieties that will grow anywhere in the USA. Unless you trust the government, the Heirloom Garden Seed Time Capsule and heirloom seeds from Survivalistseeds.com is your long-term food solution. Our competition charges 10 cents to $1.25 per seed for these same heirloom varieties. But you can now have a head of lettuce, a bundle of carrots, a basket of tomatoes, a giant watermelon, and 16 other varieties for about a penny a seed each. Be prepared. Buy your heirloom seeds today from Survivalistseeds.com and have food insurance for your family forever. Visit Survivalistseeds.com. Survivalistseeds.com is owned by Big John Lipscomb, host of the Don't Tread on Me radio show.